6. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with truth. Oh, this is a little bit softer, it seems like. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. Anybody ever heard that quote? I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. Right? Well, what about your friends or your family members, co-workers, or your church? I don't know. I'm just asking questions this morning. It does not delight in evil, but rejoices with truth. One of the most, and I preached about this, I think, maybe a couple months ago. I think it was in the Ignite the Fire sermon that I preached a couple months ago. But I was talking about a well-known tele-evangelist who, at the pinnacle of his ministry, one of the main indicators of when he was getting ready to fall was in his preaching he became very, very angry. He was talking about people who committed crimes, and he said they should be lined up and shot, and all these, that's not love. That's not the gospel. Love does not wish anything on their worst enemy, their friends, their family members, or anyone else they come in contact with. It does not delight in seeing people suffer, even if they deserve it. Y'all hear what I'm saying? I mean, even if somebody deserves what they get. And we like those moments, don't we? When somebody gets it back in return, hell, he got his. Or she got hers. Hey, reap what you sow. Amen. Right? But we delight in that. And we should. I lost my mic. Here we go. More technical difficulties, more mental difficulties, however you want to use it. But we should not delight in the suffering of other people, no matter even if they deserve it. Hiding, sliding, maneuvering, disguising, or ignoring the truth because it's inconvenient is not love. Now, I'm just being personal and transparent. This is a big one for me and my family. Why? Because my family doesn't like conflict. We don't like to fight. We don't like to argue. We don't like to call people out. We don't like those kinds of things. I mean, that's kind of how I'm raised. Everybody's nice. Everybody's gentle. Everybody's loving. Everybody's kind. I mean, that's how we were raised. But it doesn't erase the fact that there have been times, and still are times, in my family where I need to step up as a pastor, as a man of God, and say, this is not right. Because it's not the truth. Or it's not the right thing to do. I should be doing those things on a more regular basis. I get that. But sometimes we let the truth slide because it's not convenient. This is not love. We're not doing ourselves or our family members or those that we love any favors by sliding the truth. Y'all hear me this morning? Now, I'm not saying everybody has to become blunt and rude and all those kinds of things to say the truth, but what I'm saying is don't hide it, don't disguise it, don't maneuver around it when it presents itself to you. Because if you truly love who God puts in your path, you'll be willing to help them see where God's coming from. Y'all follow me this morning? Okay, good. Because I'm going somewhere with you or without you. I don't know where I'm headed. Verse 6, verse 7 and 8. Love always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. Paul really throws the hammer down here. I like this because maybe you made it through the first 4 through 6 verses right there. Okay? Maybe you got through the first those 4 through 6 verses okay and said, you know what? I'm really not boasting in evil. I'm a pretty kind person. I'm a pretty patient person. I'm long-suffering. I'm meek. Maybe I'm not really a proud person. I don't boast a lot. So maybe you made it through all those verses okay. But he still gets us in 7 and 8. It's where we start to become unraveled. So let's do an experiment this morning. Let's replace love with I and see what happens. Y'all ready for this? I am patient. I am kind. I do not envy. I do not boast. I am not proud. I am not rude. I am not self-seeking. I am not easily angered. I keep no record of wrongs. I do not delight in evil, but I rejoice with the truth. I always protect. I always trust. I always hope. I always persevere. Now, Can y'all see the problem here? Can y'all see the magnitude of this scripture? Can you see the importance of what Paul is telling us here? Because there's no way that all of us, or any of us for that matter, actually fit this description or this experiment. None of us do. We are not always protecting. We are not always persevering, are we? We are not always patient. We are not always kind. We are not always doing the things that we are supposed to do. And there's a reason for that, and that reason is because we are sinful man, sinful woman. Right? Sin came into the world and it destroyed that option for us. So what Paul is saying is this is love, and this is what we aspire to, and this is what we're supposed to be like. But when you plug us into the equation, it gets all messed up. One thing to say. Liar, liar, pants on fire. If you read that sentence and said, I am, liar, liar, pants on fire. Shame on you. Because it's not the truth. None of us are always these things. Now that we understand the difficulty of the love chapter, what do we do? What do we do with this information that Paul has given us? Paul offers two rays of hope for dealing with untamed love. Okay, the first one is this. The person of love, and the second one is this, the future of love. So this is where we're going next. Okay? Now that we've kind of got through the rough part here a little bit, let's get into some of the good stuff. Everybody all right? Do I need to have you do jumping jacks? Okay, all right, here we go. The person of love. At face value, we may think or assume Paul is describing what love is like. We may think that Paul is using these as adjectives, love as a noun, and then the adjective describing. That may be what we think Paul is doing here. Paul is not waxing lyrical, describing the concept of love. Instead, love is concrete, living thing that performs a whole heap of actions. Love does a lot. Love is a force. Love is a power. Love is a life that goes ahead and does stuff. That love is action. Love is a verb. Love is something that is alive and moving and is tangible. It's not something that is an abstract idea that we may assume. It does stuff. Love is a person, and Jesus said, "Let it be me." Now, what do I mean by this? The night that Jesus was betrayed, Judas had left the supper table. He went to do what he knew he had to do. Jesus told him to do that. And afterwards, after all the communion and all those kinds of things, Jesus goes to the garden to pray. The Garden of Gethsemane. Takes a few guys with him, and they go.